It feels so good to be back in the hospital, and it feels so good to be able to complain about clerkships again, okay? Because I looked at my portal and it said it's 100 days since you've been in your last rotation. I'm just like, we're back. We're better. Didn't you miss me? Didn't you miss talking about clinical rotations? Didn't you miss all of this? Because I did. This is a week in the life of a medical student on the transplant surgical elective, transplant surgery, organ transplantation, however you want to look at it. It's the second day of transplant surgery, missed the train, arriving late, and there's a kidney transplant going on right now, so I'm gonna change my clothes and hop right to surgery. To update later. Alright, so we had a successful transplant surgery today. I last ate 8.5 hours ago due to my Vyvanse, which is my ADHD medication. I am not hungry, but I am weak. Let me tell you more. Okay, so y'all see how bright it is right now. When I was coming, it was definitely like trying to get light, but it wasn't like yet. Surgery was cool. There is a reason why I came to school wanting to be a surgeon. It is very fascinating to me. And the things that the human body can do, it's quite amazing. But also, if we're being honest, I don't know, I got to assist a little bit. And by assist, I mean like hold the, what is it called? Like a beaver or something. It's basically like this big old tool that you like use to pull the body out the way so you could see what you're trying to do. It was nice seeing the kidney being transplanted. Like the transplant kidney essentially looked like a raw piece of meat, and then once they connected the two arteries and the two ureters, then it pinked up. You seen all the blood, and I was like, oh, this is just so cool. But my feet hurt. Like I need a foot massage, and I just got a massage last week, and the massage included a foot massage. Anyway, let me go catch this train. I'll catch up more with you later. Alright, let me give y'all some updates. I have another kidney transplant today, and changing to get ready for it. Basically, I need to check the board before I go to bed, and I need to sit this phone down somewhere. I'm about to go in for another kidney transplant. The reason why I say I need to check the board the night before is because we typically have rounds at 6 a.m. But if we have a morning surgery, we don't have to go to rounds, which means I could have slept longer. Lesson learned. But yeah, I scrubbed in 2 days ago on a kidney transplant. This one is from a living donor. So I'm not sure if the living donor's in the hospital, if they already have the kidney or not. Because if they're in the hospital, then that'll be 2 surgeries this morning. We'll see. It's also with the doctor that I just worked with. So, well, it is Friday, and I thought I was going to transplant clinic today to see how they speak to the donors for the kidneys, or, you know, getting ready for a transplant. And if a donor has high blood pressure, then obviously you can't move forward because we need to make sure that the kidney is fully functional, and that is what happened. So no clinic for me. I have a meeting at 1:30 with my advisor, and I'm going to try to see if I can run home, grab my swim bag, come back, go swimming, and then have this meeting. And if I can't, it's fine. But we're going to see if I'm superhuman today and we can make some shake. Stay tuned. We made it. Yay. Okay, I'm realizing that I never went back and talked about the living donor kidney transplant from the other day. These days are warped, time and space. Surgery, I barely have time to record when I'm in the hospital. I'll be trying to remember to record, then I forget, and then I have to rewatch the tape and see it. All the things you didn't even care about, but let me tell you. So yes, the donor was in the hospital. Oh, my camera is not the cleanest. But I am unsure as to why that surgery was not listed on the board, because since the donor was in the hospital, it happened right before my patient, obviously, because they were getting theirs explanted and mine was getting it transplanted. So I only got to see one surgery. My colleague didn't get to see a kidney transplant, and I had just seen my first one 2 days prior. So I let them scrub in for it, and I just observed. This one, though, I got to see the work that they were doing on the kidney before transplanting it, which was very, very cool. The thing with transplant surgery is there are very few surgeries that are already scheduled in advance. Like typically the surgeries just pop up on the board the night before or the day of, which is, I don't understand how they do it and how they live this life, because I'm just like, woo child, to not know what you're going to be getting into the following day is kind of crazy to me. But I'm not a transplant surgeon. But also like the flexibility and adaptability that they have in their schedules, shout out to them. I just did the whole Myers-Briggs again, and they were like, girl, that's one of your weaknesses. You are so tied to your routine that you might be missing out on some things. And I was like, wow, y'all are dragging me. But the surgery was cool. So we're supposed to arrive at 6 o'clock in the morning. Since I don't have a car, I have to wake up at 4:35 in the morning to catch the train and get here 10 minutes early. Just either catch that train or get here like 10-15 minutes late, and not trying to do that. I have not had to round though, because we were told if there are surgeries, go to the OR instead of rounding. Can't lie, I love that, because I absolutely loathe rounding. I don't like it at all. And surgery rounds are kind of the same as internal medicine, where they do talk a lot about medication management of like steroids or immunosuppressant medications. But then when you do the physical walking rounds, it's very, very brief, as in like, oh, how you doing? Any complaints? All right, see you tomorrow. Or like, we're around, let us know if you got any problems. I'm just like, oh, I'm so used to, like being in the room a little bit longer. What else? Oh, the only surgeries, because I did look for next week, and there are some surgeries listed for like fistulas, which is creating a new connection between something. Like typically people who are on dialysis, so obviously a lot of our patients are getting kidney transplants, so you create a fistula for dialysis. And when I was in surgery last week, or this week rather, the surgeon was telling me all the benefits of a kidney transplant, and I was like, yeah, the time that it takes to be on dialysis can be overwhelming, because that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And they were like, it's not just the time. If you ask anybody who's on dialysis, they feel like crud, they feel crappy. And I was like, oh, I didn't know. And then they went into all of the ways it can impact the body, like the heart, the brain, obviously the kidneys, just all the various organ systems that are impacted from being on dialysis or having end-stage renal disease. Yeah, so it's a 2-week elective, and it feels so good to be back in the hospital, and it feels so good to be able to complain about clerkships again, okay? Because I looked at my portal and it said it's 100 days since you've been in your last rotation. I'm just like, not me thinking I was gonna be out for like 2 months. And at some point, I was like, I keep rushing and trying to do things on my own time and on my own schedule, and not really like listening to God and giving things or turning things over to Him. So, I planned a couple of trips, was studying as well, had a few exams to retake, and now we're back and we're better, and we're back to complaining about the things that we've been living for and wanting for our whole lives. Yay, yippee. I know that sounds crazy, but you're not gonna like everything. So I don't like the rounding part about surgery, but I actually really, really love the surgery. My feet are aching. About to get some better shoes. My Hokas are good for the hospital, not necessarily the OR. Surgery is my next rotation, so I got to figure that out real fast, because that starts in 3 weeks. And yeah, so I did go swimming, as you saw. I am Superwoman, clearly, because I can do it all. I had my meeting with my advisor, and I'm still on track to finish December of next year, which feels good. Like I could stay for an entire extra year, but I'm just like, why would I do that? I'm gonna weigh my pros and my cons though. because I could stay in and keep getting scholarship money, but then that also comes with taking out like $15,000 in loans every year. Or I can get a job for 6 months and do that job and interviewing for residency though. Like, that's the complicated thing, because I'm like, what job would be so flexible that they'll let me, whenever I have a residency interview, just call off? Because if you're in rotations, they understand it's the nature of the game of being a medical student. But jobs, not so much. So I'm gonna reach out to a friend who graduated from my school a few years ago, also graduated in, or like finished in finished in December. You can only walk in May though. So I'll reach out to them and see like the risk, benefits, rewards, all those things. And yeah, this is a week in the life of a medical student on the transplant surgical elective, transplant surgery, organ transplantation, however you want to look at it. I'm really hoping that next week I'll get to see like a liver or pancreas transplant, since I've seen a few kidney transplants. That would be cool. I will hope that next week when I have clinic that, things go as planned and I can see a couple of patients, and how surgical clinic is different from medicine clinic. That would be nice. Or like acute care ambulatory clinic. All in all though, we're back. We're better. Didn't you miss me? Didn't you miss talking about clinical rotations? Didn't you miss all of this? Because I did. And I have so much more, so many more great things in store and planned for y'all. So stay tuned. A big bomb is about to drop in approximately 3 days from when this airs, which will also be my birthday. So send me some early birthday wishes in the chat below or in the comments below, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye.